I don't really know how to begin this particular video, but I wanted to speak just very briefly to the Rhema RMEI family. I just got off the phone as I was making a number of phone calls this morning of people that are going through some very difficult times in their life. Right now in the RMEI family, there's just a lot of things happening. Physical challenges, future challenges, marital challenges, and end-of-life challenges. I made a call to one of our recent widows, and she apologized for not getting back to me as quickly as she might have in the past because she was so busy taking care of her husband's business. And in the conversation, she said, "I want to take some time to thank you and the Rhema family for the offerings that have been sent to me after my husband's passing." She said to me, she said, and I wrote a couple of notes down, she said, she said, "I've learned for a long time," she said, that and heard for a long time that we're a Rhema family. She said, "I didn't graduate from school. My husband graduated from school, and we've been pastoring." And she said, "I've heard that, the Rhema family and that whole," but she said, "I've received so many cards with offerings in them that it is, to be put frankly," she said, "it surprised me." She said, "These are people that I've never met. These people I do not know." But she said, it really has touched my heart that they would reach out to me during my time of, and she was pretty moved by the whole situation. She talked a little bit more about it, and she said, she said, even though I didn't graduate from Rhema, is there a way that I can be put on the list so that when different ones pass away, that I can send them and their loved ones an offering? So I took her email address down, and I promised her that I would pass those on to her as they would come my way. I been asking in lieu of flowers to send gifts for quite some time now. And I think most of us are probably like me. We see so many of these, especially in my office. I see every one of them. And it can come down to the point to where, you look at it and you think, wow, I really can't afford to. And so because we can't write the big check, because we can't write the $100 check, or we can't write the $250 check, then we don't write anything at all. So recently I've kind of purposed within my own heart that in spite of how it looks, here I am, I'm the national director, and I'm writing personal checks of $25 and sending out. And I'll have to admit that I personally have fought that, because I thought that it wasn't enough. Because of my position, I guess, I don't know. But I'm fighting past that. I'm beginning to realize that these big figures that we think we have to give really don't matter at all. But if we all do something, and so I've been writing out $25 checks, and my flesh has fought it, every one of them that I've written. Because, you think, well, should be given 100, should be given 250, should be given, but because of how many come my way, but I've just purposed in my own heart, I'm going to do at least $25. Brother Hagin fought this whole thing of the little gift and the importance of it the last couple of decades of his ministry. He would talk to us all the time. If every one of us would just give $10, $10 every month, what a difference it would make in our Word Partner Club. And of course, all of us, I'm sure, are like me. Well, $10, what difference is that going to make? But it makes a big difference when a whole lot of us are putting $10 in. I was going to kind of hold talking to you about this issue off until I went to the RMEI retreats throughout the country, and maybe times at Winter Bible Seminar when I have the RMEI luncheon. But this call that I had today facilitated, I think, the need for this video. I had something happen to me a couple of months ago. I was getting ready to go to work. I was actually walking down the hallway after I had gotten dressed and ready to go pick up my wallet and my keys off the desk, and the Lord said to me, "There's a lady in the class today that does not have food enough to feed her children." And kind of caught me by surprise. I've never had a word like that given to me, and in 40 some odd years of ministry. And so I kind of laid it aside and thought to myself, well, I'll just kind of weigh it out a little bit. And so I came to work, and it was my first hour class. And so I didn't say anything at the beginning, taught my class. And at the end, I kept getting it. And so I said, every head bowed, please, every eye closed. And I asked, who in this classroom does not have food enough to feed your children? And there was 3 ladies that raised their hands. And so I said, all right. I said, put your hands down. And I had it, of course, no one saw it because I had them all close their eyes so that they wouldn't be embarrassed. And so I took three guys, and I said, grab a hat. And I stood them up in the classroom, one at the far right, one in the center, and one in the far left. And so I said, students, I said, this is what we're going to do. I'm not asking you to empty your wallets, but I'm asking you that if you have $2 or $3, I'm asking you to sow it. And they just started streaming up to the 3 gentlemen that I said, this section and this section, you go here, and the center section, you go here, and this other section, go there. And they streamed up, and they gave their offering. And then I dismissed them. And I told the 3 ladies, I said, no, I want you to come up. And I took a lady and put her on the right side, in the center, took a lady and put her on the left. I said, no, I want you to just take this. Didn't count it, didn't separate it, didn't equal it out. Just whatever was in that particular man's hand is what she got. And so next couple of days, I received a thank you note from one of them. And I happened to see her in the hallway, and I said, can I be just a little bold and ask you, how much did you get? She said, Doug, and she started crying. She said, I got $260. And she talked to me about what a blessing that was and how that it met that need. The issue of the little amount. All of us, what's that scripture talks about? Paul said that each of us bring our supply. That's what this thing's all about. And I just trust that, that as we consider these things, that when we have opportunity to work together on projects, that we understand it's not the amount. But it's all of us working together. So I just encourage you, if you see opportunities, every one of you have sat in this classroom. Every one of us have heard about the fact that we're a family. Sometimes there's just comes time to point to where we have to embrace some family responsibilities and pitch in what we can do. So I just these are things to think about. This little widow lady said to me, she said, Doug, she said, you won't understand how much those offerings meant to me. She said, but it takes about 2 months, I found out, for Social Security to kind of begin to make their changes. And So she said, I'm operating on some pretty low cash reserves right now. And that those little cards, those little gifts have made a huge difference. And so as the Rhema family, as a Christian family, whether it be to Word Partner Club, or whether it be to a little widow, let's all kind of understand that it's not the big amounts. It's just doing what we can do. But if we're all doing what we can do, what a difference we all can make. I love you, care about you. Hope to see you here at Winter Bible Seminar. But just know that you're loved. You're prayed for very much. God bless you.